Welcome to Grand Arbiter Filibusters. Hope you're excited. As far as opening hand goes, yeah, we're going to keep on this one. We've got Coat of Arms, and as soon as I see that Coat of Arms, we are keeping on this one in a heartbeat. But yes, welcome to the Filibusters. We're here to do two things, and that's read some scrolls and bust some heads. And you know what? We're done reading scrolls for the day, so hope you're excited. Let's get down Island. Let's go for, and Jace is just a wonderful draw. Let's go for Serum Visions. We need to get some more petitioners on the battlefield. Oh, Thrummings. Oh my goodness. This is beautiful. I think I like that. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, let's just go Thrumming Stone on top, and we'll leave Island on top, and we'll be set up really good. Anything else, we're going to pass the turn to our opponent. We're playing Grand Arbiter, the fart monster himself. White spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Blue spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Then spells our opponents cast cost 1 more to cast. We're playing against Brudiclad, the Telchor engineer. Opponent's going to get down to Felmware Stone. At the creature tokens you control have haste. Then at the beginning of combat on your turn, create a 2/1 blue mirror artifact creature token. Then you may choose the token you control. If you do, each other token you control becomes a copy of that one. Oh, sorry about that. Okay. Let's get down Azorius Signet. Yeah, I think, well, let's start getting down some of these petitioner. No, let's start ramping. I think that's a little bit better. We'll get down Signet, and then we can power out Grand Arbiter, and that'll actually make these petitioners a little bit easier to get out there. But yes, also, this is a Good Morning Vietnam video, so I hope you're excited. Well, it's not super early. I'm recording on the weekend. It's probably about 8 o'clock in the morning. But if my voice sounds a little whatever, I try to loosen it up before I record in the mornings, but sometimes, it still has that little morning fog on it or whatever. So hopefully we can work out on that pretty quick. So we did cover both commanders. Let's give a quick shout out to MTGOTraders. If you're feeling festive and want to build your own petitioners deck, they've got more than enough petitioners for you to build on Magic Online. Go over there and have some fun. And shout out to inkgaming.com. Coupon code JOLT will give you 10% off your order and help out the channel at the same time. All right, so let's go for Nimbus Maze. And that's going to allow us to have a white source. I think at this point, let's say we end up going Grand Arbiter. Yeah, because I kind of want to get some good Thrumming Stone going. So let's just keep going for some setting up. Let's go for Grand Arbiter Fart Monster. Let's make sure we tap down this filter mana first. There we go. Go for Mr. Fart Monster himself, and then we'll close that off, and we'll go and pass the turn. Now, our opponent does have a pretty good board state developed so far. They've got Profiros, God of the Forge, on the battlefield. And with the Brudiclad deck, your main goal is to get a ton of tokens on the battlefield. So hopefully this should be a pretty fun matchup. I'm really excited about this. Pretty much, if we were to have 2 tutor cards in our hand, the 2 cards we would have tutored would have been Coat of Arms and Thrumming Stone. Both of these cards really allow us to kind of really start go off the persistent petitioners. And so the only downside with Coat of Arms is we have to be careful, because with Brudiclad, if all of their tokens become a copy of one token, then that's gonna be a lot of tribal synergy on the battlefield at once. And if they have flying or something, it may be hard for us to take advantage of that. So, but if we can get a Coat of Arms win, we're definitely going for that. So we'll be able to get down Command Tower. Yeah, I think that'll be good. Let's go Command Tower. Let's go and swing in with Mr. Fart Monster himself. It's going to be a 2/3, and he does not, for some reason, I'm really bad about this, but let's go and swing a Grand Arbiter. If a creature looks like it has flying on the card, my brain just automatically says, all right, they have flying. And so Grand Arbiter does not have flying. Yeah, I think we get down Thrumming Stone. If we're planning on going for this, we get down Thrumming Stone, and then the jig will kind of be up once we get down Thrumming Stone. All right, so we're going to get that down, and then once we get down this Coat of Arms, we'll be really set to go. Opponent does have 4 cards in the hand, but we'll kind of see what they get going. But at least it's going to allow us to end up with persistent petitioners, and hopefully we can just kind of keep chaining that stuff together. The way it works with Ripple 4, if you've never played with this card, whenever you cast a spell to reveal the top 4 cards of your library, then you reveal any with the same name, and then put the rest on your bottom. So basically, it's going to allow us to kind of keep this chain going. Grand Arbiter is going to give us a reduced cost on persistent petitioners. Now, this is nothing new. Grand Arbiter is a really good commander for this, but the way we've got this deck built is I don't want to mill. I don't like milling. Sometimes we can set up a Living Death. Our opponent might have Scrap Mastery. This is the Filibusters. We're here to bust some heads, so we're closing it out with tribal damage. And so that's the name of the game with this particular deck. We want to, it works out really well because you get down to 1/3, and then it just makes it really nice that you can swing into these board states where it's almost just hard to beat, especially once you get these +1/+1s on the battlefield. Oh, some good board states, and oh, stroke of genius, yeah. Okay, so let's go for waste, and let's start going for the petitioner chain. I think this will be pretty good. Let's go Either way, we'll go Waste and we'll go Signet. Let's go Petitioners. It's going to be 1 blue mana. We're going to have the Ripple 4. And let's see, yes. Oh, there we go. Run into another one. So we're going to get these ones down and then, yeah, just go to town. Yes. So we're going to cast this one. That's going to be 1 blue. And put these on the bottom in any order. Thran Dynamo. That's going to be another Ripple 4. And we're going to have some good fun right now. I can't wait to get this. Hopefully our opponent doesn't scoop or anything. But we get down Coat of Arms and try to outrace the ripple effect. All right, we hit another Petitioners. And we are running, I think, about 24 Petitioners in here. And so this is some good magic right here. Let's put those on the bottom in any order. And outside of the Petitioners, what are we doing? This is card draw tribal. We need to get down a lot of artifacts. And all right, so we finally whiff on this last Petitioners. Click OK. No Ripple 4. Put those on the bottom. We'll get both of these, get all these filibusters on the battlefield, get those scrolls ready to crack some heads. And then we'll end up going for one more Petitioner. There we go. All right, so we're going to get that Ripple 4. And like I mentioned, we don't really want to get any mill going. If our opponent's got Snapcaster or something like that, I'm just not a huge fan of that. And we're running some land destruction in here. That's kind of new in my deck building. If you've been a fan of the channel for a long time, I typically don't run land destruction. There's been a lot of times I realized, hey, we do need to take care of a Maze of Ith, or how many times that just puts a video to a grinding halt trying to do that. And we'll click OK. All right, put those on the bottom in any order. And we're going to end up with 5 Petitioners on the battlefield. Yes, sign me up. Do we want to follow up with Jace? Yeah, I guess. Hopefully our opponent doesn't just scoop to the awesomeness of this. And we're going to have Ripple 4 off of Jace. And, oh, and actually, we could have got down Coat of Arms now. I thought about it. No, excuse me, that's not a blue or white spell. And then we do hit a few more Petitioners, but we cannot cast those. We'll put those on the bottom in any order. I think at this point we might just end up going Fate Sealing. So let's go and Fate Seal on our opponent. Look at the top card of the library. Mechanized Production. Yes, let's go and put that on the bottom. I think that'll be okay. Okay. And then anything else, we'll still go and swing it with Grand Arbiter because they cannot turn that on. And also, shout out to our opponent for sticking this one out. I certainly appreciate that. Sometimes when you get a ton of value going on Magic Online or just a ton of action, sometimes your opponents are like, oh, we'll just go and scoop this one up. So I really appreciate that. Okay, opponent's going to crack Myriad Landscape. But yeah, I wanted to build a Petitioner deck. I was trying to figure out what deck I wanted to run out for the week. And I was like, man, I want to build Petitioner Tribal. I don't want to mill. I don't like, I don't mind mill. I've got a mill deck and that's Mindcrank, but I don't know, just Coat of Arms shenanigans, the fact that you can get a reduced cost with Grand Arbiter, you're in blue-white, you can tell that, whatever sort of mana rocks we get on the battlefield, this is basically just card draw tribal. We can Stroke of Genius to get some more Petitioners, and you can see how good Thrumming Stone is in here. Like I mentioned, I think we're doing 24 Petitioners, and you can see how good of a chain that was. Uh-oh, what happened? Oh, release the Gremlins. Okay. So they took care of Thumbing Stone and Signet with release the Gremlins. Okay, that's fair enough. Destroy X artifacts, create 2 X Gremlins. So we got Petitioners versus Gremlins. Drawn to Arid Mesa. Yeah, I think on this one we got to go for that Brainstorm ability. That's going to be really good, especially if we just crack in a fetch land. So let's go for Jace. That's going to be Brainstorm and Light and Tutor. Let's put Irrigated Farmland back on top. And Enlightened Tutor can allow us to snag another, yeah, I think that's pretty, yeah, we put Stroke of Genius back on top. We'll get down, let's go for Enlightened Tutor. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but it's going to put us out of the Coat of Arms range. Yeah, I think we could try to set that up for next turn. So let's go Coat of Arms. This might be our undoing, but we're going to get it down because that's going to be a really nice chunk of damage. And the cool thing about this is that Great Arbiter is an advisor too, a human advisor. So look at that. It's filibustering time. Stupid. All right, so we're going to swing into the red zone. That's going to be 6, 12, 18, 24. That's going to be 30, 37 points of damage. Let's see some blocks from these gremlins. But we got the whole crew swinging in. That's going to put our opponent down to 3. And then we activated Jace. We're going to go and pass the turn. So there we go. It's busting time. It's clobbering time. These filibusters have Yeah, just when stuff like this happen, like this is, and actually, to be perfectly honest, this is the very first video that I've recorded with this deck, and so there's a lot of times where I build a deck and I'm like, well, let me play test a couple times, and sometimes the play testing, like I have some of the best games when I go to record, sometimes that stuff doesn't it doesn't pan out sometimes. So this one, I'm really happy with how it turned out. Oh, I just now realized I don't have a dual source in. No, excuse me. Yeah, we don't have the OG dual source. We'll get down planes, but I think our opponent's going to. We'll see. Just in case there's a cyclonic rift on their end. Yeah, let's make sure we got some stuff set up just in case they're passing with an open cyclonic rift. That's something to kind of play around. Let's get this popped out, and then adaptive automaton is something we can go for. We have Radiant Destiny. We definitely have the vigilance off of that. Shared Triumph is another way. Yeah, I think at this point we just go Radiant Destiny. I think that'd be a good. We could go for adaptive automaton, but I think Radiant Destiny is pretty good. That's going to give him vigilance, so we'll put that on top, and we'll go for the Jace ability. Draw 3 cards, and then we still have Brainstorm to dig a little bit deeper too. Because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, we're definitely in the Cyclonic Rift range. So let's go for Jace really quick. Let's go for the 0 ability. Draw 3 cards. And then we hit some more Petitioners. Ooh, and draw the Mirror Entity. Let's put, at this point, we'll put Mirror Entity back on top. Persistent Petitioners. Let's go Brainstorm. We're only going to see 1 card deeper off of this Brainstorm. But if we can hit a counter spell. All right, run into Ponder. We'll put Mirror Entity and then another Petitioner on top. Let's go for Ponder. At this point, we do have a few hard counter spells in here. That's kind of what we're looking for. And then put those on top in any order, and we're going to shuffle our library. Swords to Plowshares. Okay, well, that's kind of something. All right, let's go and swing into the red zone. Let's see if our opponent's going to have it on this one. If we are playing into a Settle the Wreckage, let's do this. Let's just swing in with 3 Petitioners. That way, if we're worrying about some sort of flash option from our opponent, not Settle the Wreckage. I'm thinking Arena in my head. There's no way they're going to cast Settle the Wreckage. Come on, get it together. All right, opponent's going to go for Aetherize. All right, so it's kind of like the blue version of that. All right, so that's fine. Kind of figured maybe there was some sort of trick coming down. So we'll go for, we need to redeploy these Petitioners. So we're going to go blue. And we can still get down 3 more of them. We'll go another one off of Waste. And then that'll still give us just enough mana to leave up Swords to Plowshares. So we're going to get down the last Persistent Petitioner, and then anything else, kick it back over to our opponent. But yeah, you can see all the different tribal effects we have in here. We have Adaptive Automaton, we have Radiant Destiny, we have, what is it, the Mirror Entity, which actually works out really well. We have Shared Triumph, which is just kind of a really nice tribal effect. And, there we go. Get that pop back up. And then we've got Coat of Arms, Door of Destinies, Call to the Kindred. So there's just a ton of fun stuff in here that allows us to kind of put some pretty good pressure on our opponent. Let's go for the 0 ability off of Jace. Should look at the fresh top 3 cards of our library. That's going to be Adaptive Automaton, Seachrome Coast, and then Thran Dynamo. Let's put Thran Dynamo back on top. And I think at this point, since we both have 2 different unique effects, we'll just put Adaptive Automaton back on top. I think that's okay. We'll get down Seachrome Coast. And once again, they are sitting at 3, so let's go and go to the combat step. And let's push in with the Persistent Petitioners. And once again, we're going to swing with 3. You know, if they've got Cyclonic Rift, they've got it, but at least that's going to be lethal. And we'll see what they can end up going for. I'm not sure if there's any other sort of Aetherized style effects, but I think this should be... All right, there we go. Good game to our opponent, Mike56, for sticking this one out. I really appreciate them. You know, when you play against decks like this, sometimes people scoop it up, especially we had that really long Ripple turn and we got down Jace. But you can see we're getting down a coat of arms with these these Persistent Petitioners feels really good. And we could have had, you know, let's say our opponent wasn't kind of on the ropes for most of that game. You could see where we'd get down Radiant Destiny, give our creatures +1/+1, and this is just going to be a huge tribal effect. So even if they do have some sort of sizable board state, we're going to be able to get down all these tribal effects and just really close the game out. And, you know, we could have tried to mill our opponent out, but hey, it's filibustering time. So anyways, if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.